This is Alex from HomeTrainingGym.com. In this video, I'm going to teach you 4 different progressions that you can take to get your first strict pull-up. Alright, so before we begin, be sure to like and subscribe if you found this video useful. Also, comment down below if you have any questions or requests or anything like that. I'll be happy to do those things. But let's get into the 4 progressions that you can do to get your first strict pull-up. So, first one is going to be, I'm going to start from probably the least, or the one that you should start with first, and then move your way up. That'll help you progress more and more. First one is going to be ring rows. So you just grab a pair of rings. You can hang them up from a rig or from trees or whatever you find. All right. But for ring rows, this is only going to help you a little bit. So the thing with ring rows is you're typically only going to use a few of the muscles that you use for a pull-up. All right. Since the plane of motion, you're just going to be taking it close, right? And you're going to be pulling straight up. So this isn't going to get you too far into getting your first strict pull-up. It'll just help you a little bit with it. So once you start getting pretty good at ring rows, I would say go ahead and move on from there. But a ring row, basically you're just going to grab both rings, you're going to step, and then you're going to lean back, all right? And then once you lean back, you're then just going to pull up to your chest. You're going to keep your body in one plane of motion, all right? So I don't want to try and sag my hips and then thrust them up or anything. It's just pulling straight up and straight down, all right? So one way you can do it, if you want to progress farther, is by putting your feet farther up. If you need to start at a lower one, all right, you'll just have your feet more back, all right? And then you'll pull straight up from there. So the farther your feet go up, the harder it is. The farther back, the easier. So start far back if you're just starting out. Move your feet up. Once you start getting good at that, I'll say once you can get about 8 to 10 reps on your own, then start moving on to the next one. All right, but the ring rows, it's just you're not using the right muscles for a strict pull-up necessarily. You're using a few of them, but once you get this down, I'll say move on. All right. All right. Next progression is going to be with a band. So whenever you use a band, this will only help you again a little bit. It's actually going to help you only for the first part. So if you have trouble getting from the bottom position to this position, then that's the only part that the band's really going to assist you on. So if you use a band, you can get a full set at Wad Fitters. This one's from Wad Fitters. I'll have a link in the description, affiliate link down there, if you want to try and look them up or look at them or anything. But you can start with the thicker band and then move your way to a thinner one. All right. Again, this is only going to help you a little bit, so I wouldn't rely on bands to get you all the way to a strict pull-up necessarily, all right? It's just going to help you get past that one sticking point at the very beginning. So you'll just put it on a rig, and then you'll put it on your foot, all right? And then there's a lot of tension at the beginning, so that's where it's going to help you out the most. Once you start coming up, it's going to be less and less tension, and then once you pull up all the way, it'll only help you just a little bit, all right? So it's going to help you get to that one sticking point at the very beginning, and then after that, it's not going to do too much. So I wouldn't rely too much on this as well. You can use these that if you do have strict pull-ups, or if you're doing a workout with pull-ups in a high volume, that's whenever I'll really use a band if you don't have that many pull-ups in a row yet, all right? That'll be a good opportunity to use a band at that point, is if it's a high volume of reps and you don't have that many strict pull-ups or kipping or whatever type of pull-ups you're trying to do at that point. All right, so this will give you the second progression. It's just a band. Again, don't rely on it too much, just like the ring rows. And once you get to about 8 to 10 reps at the lightest one, or maybe even 6, then I'll say move on to the next one. All right, the next progression. All right, so the third progression is going to be with a barbell. Okay, so or you can have like a tree branch or anything that kind of mimics this. But I have a barbell for this. All right, you're gonna put on a rig. From there, you're just gonna sit down. All right, so this is gonna be the third progression. You're gonna sit down, and the goal is to have your arms straight from here. The goal is to keep your legs in an L sit for the most part. All right, as you start to come up, obviously they're not gonna get into a complete L sit. But once you start to pull up, so it's gonna be the same motion of pulling up as a strict pull-up, right? Elbows outside a little bit, pulling straight up, chin over the bar, come right back down. So I want to be back behind the bar a little bit, all right? Big thing here is to keep your hips low, All right, so once I start pulling up, I do not want to pull my hips up, all right, because right there you're then just changing the muscle groups that you're using. So I want to pull straight up and use my lats as much as possible, keep my L sit as much as possible, and keep those hips low as I start to pull up, chin over, and they'll come back down. So you'll notice that my hips do not rise. They're not like this. They're down, I'm pulling, and I'm coming straight back down. All right, it's just like a regular strict pull-up from there. Okay, so this is gonna be progression number 3. This is gonna be really good, all right, because you're taking away part of your weight, but not all of it. So this one, I would say stick with this a lot until you start getting really good at strict pull-ups, or you start getting better and better at strict pull-ups, all right? So I'll stick with this for a while. This is gonna be way better than the band and the ring rows. So this is gonna be the 3rd progression, but then I'll now move on to the last progression you can do to do your strict pull-up. All right, so the last progression you're gonna do is negative pull-ups. So negative pull-ups is you're gonna get up all the way chin over the bar, and then you're gonna let yourself down very slow. So you can either jump up, you can use a box to get your chin over the bar to start out with, but once you get all the way up, you're gonna slowly let yourself down, all right, until you get to the bottom. All right, so the negative pull-up is gonna be the last way to do it. Remember, just get yourself over the bar, however you do it. You can jump and then come down, but you're just slowly letting yourself down as slow as possible, all right? And then once you get to the bottom, then you'll go back up, do it again. Do not do too many of them, okay? Just do a few at a time each day, or every other day or something like that. Don't even do them every single day. Just do a few at a time, every other day or something, until you get really good at that. And then that should help you get into your first strict pull-up. All right, so that'll be the last progression from there. So 4 different ways. Ring rows, don't rely on them too much. Same thing with the band, don't rely on that too much. The one with the barbell, that's a good one. And then negative pull-ups is also a good one. All right, so those are gonna be your two progressions that you're gonna use for trying to get your first strict pull-up the most from there. So those are 4 different ways. Again, if you have any questions, be sure to comment down below. I'll answer any of them as soon as possible. And then if you have any requests or anything like that, you can also put that down there so then I can teach you how to do other things like that. All right? So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any other video that I do that helps you with your fitness goals.